Hello everyone, let's make a pillowcase today. This is a basic pillowcase. When you first start learning sewing, if you are going to sewing classes, this is what they teach you. I used to watch kids like 8, 9, 10-year-old used to make pillowcases. They first learn how to sew straight, and then this is their first project. So let's start on it now. And this is a fabric I took like about 27 inches. This length I took 27. This is a standard size pillowcase. It changes according to your needs. So we need to iron all the fabric all the time, this is another piece of fabric I need. This is for the border kind of thing on the front. That's I need about usually people take 9 inches, but I took 12 inches. I like it a little wider, and making is also very easy if it is roomy. When you make this is called a magic pillowcase or a tube pillowcase. So you will understand why I'm saying that. So this is a 2-inch strip I took it. It's all the width is whatever we get, like from the factory came out width. But this last red, this little 2-inch piece, that's the length I'm talking about. That is, I folded in the middle and ironed it. So let's take the 12-inch piece now, 12-inch length piece now. This is lengthwise 12 inch, and the width is whatever came out of the factory. Each and every fabric is different. Like even if sometimes it's the same company made, it is different. So let's start up from one side. One side, make sure the edges match, because the other side it's not going to match anyway. So because each fabric is different, most 99% it won't match. So I clipped those two together all the way across the width of the fabric. So when we match one side, the other side it's not going to be even. But we don't worry about those edges now, because the salvage and everything, we need to cut it out anyway later on. So let's match one side and go on, start pinning those two together. Now take the third fabric, the one you folded into two pieces, into half, and ironed it. That's the piece you needed. And make sure for that one, the edges, both the edges on one side and the folding on the other side. So make sure the edges match with the top, those two fabrics. And the folding comes to the bottom, and pin that also in there, add it to that. They all need to go with each other equally. The same thing again, start at the beginning, match the edges, and go on. This fabric looks a little longer than both of them. Actually, the first fabric, the short 12-inch one, is the shortest. But three of them are 3 different sizes. When you're choosing the fabric, people try to go on one like a plaid or flowers, some prints or something, and a plain for the this binding and all that. But you pick whatever you like. I have never seen a pillowcase that's not cute. So now the other end, none of them are matching. They're all different width. See here, this side, they're all matching. They're all on equal side. We made sure that. So now what you have to do is take the main fabric, the top one, that one, and start rolling up. If you take the second fabric, the medium length one, like 12-inch one I took, is 9 inches. This, you have to roll this little tighter. or shorter, 9 inches or less. So now roll it up, the 12-inch piece, roll it up on the top of each other and pin that one, that edge also in there. Now basically you see, like, except for the main fabric, those two fabric, all the edges are matching together. Now pin again. Even though this is a very quick project, I'm showing it. I'm not editing the video as I used to be, because when I'm rushing and talking, sometimes I don't make any sense. So I figured that out, and it's kind of, I'm putting pressure on myself. So I've decided to increase the length of the video. Look at the tube. That's why it's called tube pillowcase. So it's like a tube all over. Now you sew from this end to that end, all across the width of that. I chose 1/2 inch seam allowance, but it's up to you. But I prefer 1/2 inch seam allowance. Like, that's better actually. You don't miss any layer. And now I need to take it out. So I sewed it. It's secure. Took the pins off, and now I'm taking it inside out. Take out all the fabric from the tube out. If it is the second fabric, the one we took 12 inches here, is a lot less than 12 inches. It's really hard to do it. Usually people keep it 9 inches, but I like mine a little wider. See? Now even out everything. Look at that, how beautiful it is. That's how your pillow is going to look. Pillowcase, sorry. So make sure all edges are out and nice. And we need to iron it too. Either iron it first and cut it later. I mean, it's not too bad, so I decided to go ahead with it. But I could, if the fabric is, there are too many wrinkles, you better iron it. You see that uneven edges and the selvage. So now it's time to cut on that side. That extra thing, we don't want the selvage, or we don't want the uneven pieces. Like, we want everything to be even. You see that red piece, the 2-inch piece, the red one is long, way long. Usually they are 42, 43 inches, 41 to 43 inches wide, all the fabrics from the factory, like, you know, that's how they made it. But some of them little longer, looks like. I never came across anything less than 40. I don't think even I got anything 40. It's more than 40 actually. So I think I cut it about an inch over there. Depends on, like, you know, how it is, how crooked it is, and how much selvage you want. You have it there. All that matters. Both sides the selvage need to be removed. So it takes 1/2 inch to 1 inch anyway. The whole time to make this pillowcase is about 1/2 an hour. This video is about 15 minutes. I just didn't show you the sewing part and ironing part. If you add that part, initial measuring part also, if you add all that up, it's going to be 15 more minutes. In 1/2 an hour, you can make a pillowcase. Actually, this took longer than usual because I have to show it in a video and all that. If I'm doing it for at home, like maybe 20 minutes, that's it. Without video time, I can do it in 15-20 minutes. And when I did this, I noticed that when initially I cut it, probably I made a mistake. Those edges are not even on the bottom. So now I make sure that the extra piece is cut and it's even all around. And once we do this, we need to sew on the in L shape from that width we are cutting now, that part, and the length on the open length. All the open parts need to be sewed. Usually what you think, like it's like a bag, you sew it from inside, take it inside out and fix them and sew it in an L shape, like from there, from this length and width both. But that is the normal sewing, but the seam is going to show out. I don't like, it doesn't look very professional. So when you are making it something like you want it to look professional. So what I did, I top stitched it, like, instead of turning it over like what I'm showing you now, and sewing it that side, I did the French seam. French seam is first you sew on the top about a 1/4 inch seam, and then take inside out and fold that part and sew it on it again. Yeah, that's the regular sewing, but it doesn't look very professional. So I did the French seam. First initial sewing, like on the top, when you see sew it on the right side, it is only 1/4 inch. So you just need to hold the stitch all around, and then take it inside out and sew it half an inch. So it's finished. Look at the stitch, it shows outside. We don't want that. We don't want the stitch to show out. It looks ugly. So we didn't want inside, so we don't want it outside also. So the French seam, this is called French seam. I'm taking it inside out. Once you do that, you better iron it one more time, so the stitches are all out and it's easy to see and you don't miss anything. I use my chopstick again to push the edges, all the seams out. And iron it. Ironing is very crucial here because any stitches, any foldings and everything need to be taken out. And once you do that, take a 1/2 inch seam, because the one we sewed on the other side is 1/4 inch. You need to cover that completely. And when even if the pillowcase is inside out, you don't see any open stitches over there. It's all closed and that looks professional. See, that's how you need to make sure all the stitches are open, and then sew 1/2 inch. And make sure the beginning and end you do a back stitch at the beginning and also at the end. So it's done now. Sewed it all around. Now take it inside out. Use your chopstick again. Need to iron this one again before we use it. That makes all the stitches out. Every time I make these pillowcases, at one point I think, did I make a right choice in picking the colors, fabrics and all that? But every time it looks good. I've never seen a pillowcase that's not cute. Whatever you mix and match, it still looks good. Different colors, different patterns and everything. See, that's how it looks. I'm going to iron it now. See? It's a pillowcase. I'll put it on a pillow and show it to you. I showed you initially in the beginning. See? You can pick contrast colors, whatever you like. Hope you like the video. If you do, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.